when a chick meets your status of old lady, it's because you've been through so much shit with her. You know what I mean? You've been with her for so long, so it's like, motherfuckers say that, and it's like, oh man, like now Bud feel like he gotta really say something or do something, you know what I mean, when they see each other, and that's the corny part.
And that's why I respect Tank. Hey, Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You got a new fan. You a real one, dog. As of late, you've been showing me you a real one. I like that. Yes, you've been showing me that you are a real one.
When a chick reaches the status of an old lady, it's because you've been through so much together. I mean, you've been with her for so long that it's like, as people say, oh man. Now the guy feels like he really has to say or do something when they see each other. And that's the corny part. Dog, as of late, you've been showing me that you're a real one. I like that. Yes, you've been proving that you're truly solid. Amid the buzzing combat scene where everyone is focused on the upcoming cards, an all-out war has broken out between GervontaDavis and Terence Crawford, two of this era's greatest pound-for-pound fighters. Looking back at what ignited this vicious chain reaction,
the absolute who's who of boxing, you know, from current legends to pound-for-pound greats to ex-fighters to presenters to media. I mean, there isn't anyone really of note.
It's just great. It's great to be here. It's great that there's so many fighters who come in from around the world. It shows how much respect everybody's got for it, and obviously for His Excellency. This is a great moment, an historical moment in world.
However, despite this air of optimism, many speculations began circulating online regarding the absence of a certain fighter who, based on his recent accolades alone, should have been at the forefront of the event, but was instead excluded. Delving deeper into the matter, many people discovered that GervontaDavis was not even given an invitation, especially by His Excellency, which led to massive backlash. In response, Tank brutally called out everyone present at the event, emphasizing that he had no need for such gatherings. He went on to claim that all the personalities who attended were nothing but hypocrites, willing to stoop to any level for financial gain. Tank tweeted, "LW, they have to go over there to make money and still do. I sell where I'm from. Be America." In another post, he added, "Most people are built on a dollar sign, no loyalty at all. Anything popping, y'all eat." Although Tank didn't mention any names directly, some fighters did not let these comments slide, including Terence "Bud" Crawford, who sarcastically poked fun at Davis. Crawford suggested that Tank was simply salty about not receiving an exclusive invitation, accusing him of cherry-picking opponents based on profitability rather than competitiveness. Crawford tweeted, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring magazine gala." Given Crawford's close relationship with Turki Al-Sheikh, many initially dismissed the remarks as harmless banter. After all, Crawford himself wasn't in attendance. However, what many failed to anticipate was that these comments would ignite a full-scale feud. The exchanges that followed were anything but friendly. Seemingly agitated by Crawford's remarks, Tank took an unconventional and distasteful approach, dragging Terence's family into the dispute. He made crude comments about Crawford's wife, a Lindra person, and their family, breaching their privacy just to make a point. In a now-deleted tweet, Tank wrote, "And he got like 8 kids and his wife like 380 LOBs. Yeah, but he gotta work overtime." Not stopping there, Davis taunted Crawford about his net worth, claiming that despite the public perception of Crawford's career, he wasn't as marketable or financially successful as people believed. Tank added, "I still make more than you." He continued, "Y'all think he's chasing greatness? He's not. That's what he has to do to make decent money, boys." However, shifting the argument to finances may not have been the best move for Tank, as Crawford quickly fired back. He dismissed Tank's claims, pointing out that they were both multimillionaires, and arguing that true financial success was about longevity, not just earnings in the moment. Crawford tweeted, "First thing a dumb rich person says to another rich person is, 'I got more money than you. I bet you I own more investments than you. And I don't owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy anything I can't buy what I want, sir. And that's a fact. Let's see whose money lasts the longest, smart guy. Crawford then elaborated on why Tank's claims about making more money were inaccurate. He pointed out that while Davis was indeed a successful fighter, his earnings over the last few years, especially when compared to his recent opponents, didn't support his argument. Crawford suggested that Tank's insistence on a Ryan Garcia rematch was proof that he needed high-profile opponents to secure the kind of paydays he wanted. Crawford tweeted, "By the way, little guy, don't speak too soon because you're definitely not making more than me. Fight who you've been fighting. That's why you're talking about fighting Ryan again." Supporting Crawford's argument, ESPN boxing reporter Mike Coppinger weighed in, revealing that in the last few years, Crawford had made significantly more money than most fighters, including Davis. According to reports, Crawford's fights against Errol Spence Jr. and another top-tier opponent had earned him between $20 to $25 million. Coppinger tweeted, "Outside of the Ryan Garcia fight, Terence Crawford has earned multiples more than GervontaDavis, especially for his bouts with Spence and others, compared to Tank's fights with Frank Martin, Hector Luis Garcia, and his upcoming bout with Roach." Coppinger further stated, "I know the actual purses because I'm a reporter, and I promise you, it's not close. Crawford made close to $25 million for Spence. Tank isn't earning anywhere near that. Garcia was the exception." Though Coppinger's tweets were factual and free of any direct insults, his involvement did not sit well with Tank. Davis quickly fired back, accusing Coppinger of spreading false narratives to make Crawford look like an underdog in their feud. In a now-deleted tweet, Tank wrote, "On my mama, you don't. This is what happens when an expletive never had money. They start talking crazy. If you didn't know, they were calling me before you, and they're still calling. And you're still in the same position, Eater. You still gotta do as you're told." Doubling down, Tank posted cryptic messages aimed at various figures in the boxing world, especially those aligned with Crawford. He suggested that he was fully aware of the politics behind the scenes and would not allow anyone to tarnish his name. Sharing a brutal training video, Tank tweeted, "A real dog, not that play. Suit up. I'm not trying to hear none of that." He added, "Turn your back on me, I dare you. I will embarrass you." As this feud escalated, it became one of the most talked about topics in the boxing world, with many taking sides. Former promoter Leonard Ellerbay, who previously worked with Tank, fully supported Davis, dismissing the claims about his earnings as biased and unfounded. Ellerbay tweeted, "Bob Arum runs his own business. No fighter or team is going to tell him what TF to do. I know based on experience, not what no MF on social says LOL. Tank over everyone." Ellerbay also argued that while some analysts and experts painted Tank as a villain sabotaging the sport, he was actually exposing the hidden politics behind major fights. He claimed that Tank was the biggest draw in the sport, as evident from his pay-per-view numbers. Ellerbay tweeted, "They all will be tuned in, no matter how much expletive they talk. He's a must-see and the most exciting fighter in boxing." Surprisingly, another figure who spoke in Tank's defense was former world champion Timothy Bradley. Despite his past criticism of Davis, Bradley acknowledged that Tank was one of the few fighters who had not aligned himself with Saudi Arabian officials, particularly His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. According to Bradley, this showed Tank's independence and refusal to be influenced, especially given how most major fights now involve Saudi backing. As this feud continues to escalate, it remains to be seen how it will impact both fighters' careers and whether it will lead to an actual fight between the two.
Well, I respect Tank. Hey, Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You got a new fan. You a real one, dog. As of late, you've been showing me you a real one. I like that. Yes, you've been showing me that.
Providing context for his statements, Tim Bradley revealed that for the past few years, several prominent fighters have publicly stated their reluctance to participate in Saudi-backed fights, expressing discontent with the way business is conducted there. However, despite maintaining this stance in the media, many of these fighters have ultimately gone back on their word, aligning themselves with Saudi promotions and agreeing to all the terms laid out for them. One notable example that Tim highlighted was that of the renowned Mexican boxing superstar, Canelo Alvarez. Despite his strong opposition to working with Turki Al
I'm talking about the way he was, and I respected that, but now, oh yeah, he kissed that ring. No doubt. Hey, you already know when Turkey calls, he gonna have to creep on, got to get on that. He gonna have to get on that big old bird. And he gonna have to fly over there. He gonna have to do what Turkey asked him to do. That's what happens. He sold his soul to the Turkey for some cheese. And it's crazy because PBC had his back. Had his back in the last 3 fights. Other than that, I thought that was interesting, man. Canelo. I don't know. I hang out with Latins over. I'm here in Southern California. Got a lot of Latin fans, man. A lot of Latin people that I know. Guatemalans, Salvadorians, yeah, Mexicans, all of them. It's kind of weird to see Canelo bend over like that, man, and kiss that.
Returning to the topic of Tank, Tim Bradley stressed that while many fans are eager to see a showdown between GervontaDavis and Shakur Stevenson, the fight may never materialize due to the politics now dominating the sport. He pointed out that Stevenson is aligned with Turki Al-Sheikh, whereas Tank has made it clear that he refuses to associate himself with Saudi-backed promotions, regardless of the financial incentives. Praising Davis for standing by his principles, Tim noted that in today's boxing landscape, it is rare to see a fighter remain steadfast in his beliefs, especially when powerful figures are actively working against him. He suggested that beyond simply
You go over there and take back everything you said, and you kiss the ring too, for 150 M's, because you know Shakur over there, and that's why I respect you. You know, you saying like, I don't need Shakur because you don't want to go over there. You don't want to kiss the ring. But if you go back on your word, then you're gonna lose a big fan, dog, and I'm gonna come at you. Nah, they don't want a real one coming through like that. That's the problem. A real one come through, tell it like it is. They don't want that. You know, Turkey control all of that. He control the media and all of that. Imagine that. He controlled the media too.
However, not everyone shared Tim Bradley's sentiments. Renowned coach and trainer Greg Hackett strongly criticized Bradley for what he considered to be insensitive and misguided comments. Hackett argued that labeling certain fighters as having sold their souls or kissed the ring was absurd, especially in a sport that is ultimately a business. He emphasized that if a fighter secures a lucrative deal by working with someone who may not have been their first choice, there is nothing inherently wrong with that. He further stated that those who are currently condemning such decisions would likely do the same if given the opportunity. Connecting this analysis to the ongoing feud between GervontaDavis and Turki Al-Sheikh, Greg Hackett reiterated that, while fighters have the right to choose whom they do business with, they cannot expect others to make the same choices simply to maintain appearances. He emphasized that at the end of the day, boxing is a business, and every fighter is in it to make money. Looking at the situation from Turkey's perspective, Hackett stated that after Tank public
work, they know how the game works. You know what I'm saying? And people say I don't understand business, but it's just good business. He don't have no ties to Tank. So I ain't about to fly your little ass out here. I mean, have some fun with us. You know what I mean? Eat some of this lamb and all that. But Tank, like, fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tank is a man that's gonna stand on his. Turkey gonna stand on his. But I think, in the end, they work together. Why? Because this is how time works. If you understand how time works, sometimes it be people you don't like them as a kid. And as an adult, you be like, all right, I understand why he was the way he was. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that deep, but it's just all for entertainment, man.
Shifting the focus away from the business side of things, Greg Hackett also shared his thoughts on the ongoing feud between Terence Crawford and GervontaDavis, labeling it as both unusual and in poor taste. According to Hackett, while verbal spats and back-and-forth exchanges are common in boxing, taking things to a deeply personal level, especially by making degrading comments about someone's family, is unacceptable. He emphasized that no matter The context of the argument. Such remarks are
Tank had said, Tank, from my understanding, Tank wasn't talking about him.
No.
You know what I mean? So Tank took that as disrespect, him going at him. Bud going at Tank. You know what I mean? Tank took it as like, damn, you minding my business. I mean, they have a little back and forth, which was all right. But then when Tank said what he said about his chick, like, that's like different. You know what I mean? Dudes, like, leave that part.
No end to this rivalry anytime soon. Greg Hackett issued a warning to the boxing community. After analyzing the heated and vicious messages exchanged between Terence Crawford and GervontaDavis on social media, he noted that all boundaries have been crossed. Hackett cautioned that if these two fighters were to come face-to-face at any event, it could potentially...
You take it to the chick that hit home, because that's not his girl, that's his old lady. You know what I'm saying? When a chick meets your status of old lady, it's because you've been through so much shit with her. You know what I mean? You've been with her for so long, so it's like, motherfuckers say that, and it's like, oh man, like now Bud feel like he gotta really say something or do something. You know what I mean, when they see each other, and that's the corny.
So in the end, what are your thoughts on the ongoing battle between Tank and Bud? Do you believe Tank's arguments are valid? That the Saudis are deceiving the sport, and that Turki Al-Alshik might be causing more harm than good? Or do you think his comments were completely out of line, and that he should have avoided making this feud so personal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.